Hello and welcome everyone to another edition of Coach's Corner, our weekly interview with the head football coach here at the University of Albany, Greg Cattuso. Coach, first, thanks for a couple of minutes of your time here. Let's talk about the game. Duquesne this past weekend. Obviously a bunch of storylines coming in with you being the all-time wins leader there. Turns out to be a big victory for you guys after you were down at the half. You really controlled things down the stretch.
Yeah, it was a tough opener. Tough opening first quarter. They had the ball 10 minutes, 9 minutes, and we just couldn't get going. We had a couple injuries right in the first series, and they had a good game plan. They came out and executed it really well. So, they put us behind 8 ball. We just couldn't get going on offense in the first half. We were fortunate to get down, and a couple really good plays by the receivers got us a touchdown. And but being down 7 at half is hard. Against a good solid opponent. So, but it was nice for us to come out. I was curious how they'd respond, and they responded very well. The defense played outstanding in the second half. I thought the offense really picked it up, and I really thought our special teams were really good in the football game.
On TV side, as you were going into the locker room, we had a chance to talk to you real quick, and you said, hey, we just got punched in the face. And then after the game, you said, I said to my team during the half, I can't wait to find out what type of football team you are. Do you think you learned a little bit something about this team?
Yeah, that's been the big motto is we're really been, it's getting old. I think they're getting bored with we have to practice better. We have to be more attentive to fundamentals, and that's why at halftime, I didn't yell at them. I didn't scream at them or anything like that. I just simply said that to them. Let's see who we are. Let's see if we're willing to get better. And they did. They responded really well. And I think, this week's going to be a really interesting week. There's going to be a lot of distractions. It was supposed to be a rainy week and a rainy game forecast. And I'm going to be curious to see if we've learned our lesson about practicing, because those fundamentals are what carry you through tough moments in games. And I think our fundamentals are good. I think our staff we have a great staff. We just have young guys that are just learning, and Elliot Krotsky's a perfect example of a young man who, just didn't play up to what he's been playing, and he knows it, and it doesn't affect him. We're fired up about him still. He just, young players kind of ride that roller coaster, and they're up and down week to week, and that's why you don't see a whole lot of freshmen in starring roles. And I think that's one of the things that's interesting about our team is how young we are.
Well, let's talk about that offensive side of the football first. Especially there in the second half, and at points during the first half, it seemed like the passing game, while the running game was struggling a little bit, I thought DJ Crook was tremendous, and your core receivers, you have some real young studs in Brad Harris and Z. Roberson and Josh Gontarek. All at points in the game made big plays for you guys.
Yeah, and Anthony did. Right. We have good receivers and a really good tight end, and a good back. They're just learning, and we have confidence. And DJ's starting to get confidence in receivers. When you get good is when the quarterback just really believes in his receiving core and doesn't have to be perfect all the time. The one pass that Brad Harris caught was a tremendous catch for the touchdown. Z. Roberson's catch was really good. Josh had the big catch in the second half. This is where a quarterback's not afraid to throw it in that kind of catch zone where we know we can get it, but they can't. And that's hard. Sometimes quarterbacks try to be too perfect. And when they're too perfect, they're just never good enough. And DJ's starting to get comfortable giving them a shot to catch the ball. And I like that about what we did Saturday. And they loaded the box. They just were, I talked to the offensive coaches. They had we had a heart-to-heart Sunday about, if there's 7 guys in there and we have 6, we can't run the ball, so we've got to loosen the reins a little bit on our pass game.
On the other side of the football, defensively, struggled a little bit against the pass in the first half. You guys came out with a different level of intensity for that latter 30 minutes, shut Duquesne out, and a less than 100 yards of total offense in the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's a shame we couldn't bang out a first down at the end. They probably would have had 40 yards. I think they got 30 or so in that last, exactly right. So, no, they played a heck of a half. And I think, an unsung hero, 2 unsung heroes was I thought Colin Cooper went in and really shut the door on the running game at times in the second half. Gave us a little, he and DeShante splitting reps was really good. They both played better than they've played. But having Jamal Robinson back from an injury and going out there and showing up, our whole back end changed when he went in the game, and I think confidence-wise we played a lot better. They took a shot at him, 19, and Jamal outplayed him for the ball and almost intercepted it. And that's he's a good player. He's a little unsung sometimes. He's a big player for us on defense.
All right, looking forward this weekend. You guys have Holy Cross. You know for sure they have this one circled a year ago. all signs were pointing to a Holy Cross victory under a minute left. Instead of kneeling it, they run it. Neil Morrison pops it loose. You guys run it back for an improbable score, an improbable win. I don't think you have to get your guys up for this one, do you? Because they know Holy Cross can play.
Well, I mean, that's one of the biggest. I've talked to our team about motivation, and we motivate early in the week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. At some point they have to take over the motivation because we can't yell them into being ready. I think they'll be ready. I think our kids are maturing fast, and I think our issues are more youth-related than motivationally related. They just don't get it's a grind. I mean, when you don't play college football, and you walk in there as a freshman or sophomore, it's all grind every week, practice, school. You know what I mean? And they're going through that right now, so they'll be ready. And I certainly know Holy Cross is going to be ready. I mean, they're a good football team. They've had some issues with late game problems, and they're trying to get it corrected. They have a good staff, and they have a great quarterback, which scares the heck out of me. But it seems like every week we're playing great quarterbacks. So, we're going to have to go in there and play a tough road game, and probably in tough situation with the weather.
All right. Well, thanks for a couple minutes of your time, and congrats on the victory Saturday.
Thank you.
All right, that'll do it for this week's edition of Coach's Corner. As always, you can catch us next week when we recap the Holy Cross game and, of course, look ahead to the rest of the schedule. For Greg Cattuso, I'm Zach Bye. We'll see you next time.